we're trying to unpack or solve for 2006 Mustang axle in 78 Pontiac issues. So I'll tell you a couple things that are going on. Is I don't know if I've mentioned this yet or not, but these guys, well, I know I have, but this guy is full 5 inches longer than the stock one. So I do have concerns about how it's going to look when it's in the car. I went and dug through old pictures, and the wheels, the factory ones, are sticking really far back in the wheel well. So I think it wouldn't be too bad. I'm probably going to have to search for like a super high back spacing so I can kick as much of the rim back as possible. We got these guys mounted, and that's pretty cool. This one's a bit crooked, but that's how it's just sitting in the frame. But the axle laid kind of, I felt like the axle was pretty straight across, just based off of gravity. so I hope that's right. Hopefully one spring wasn't hanging lower than the other or something, I don't know. But you know, that's no big deal if something wonky happens when we bolt it all back together. I'm pretty sure just the little nubs that are in the center, as long as that's good, then you should be good. It's kind of how I think it should work, but I don't know. But I can always cut one off and throw it back on. It's not a huge deal. Cutting and welding is kind of my thing, but brake lines are not my thing. So the stock axle, so we got this old axle, and this is like pretty standard fare for these X bodies, probably the low end F bodies, and pretty much everything that was on leaf springs back then. It has a single point where a T comes into, and then it splits to these guys here, and this is all standard SAE stuff, and then it's just hard lined into the master cylinders on the brakes. So we got to get that from that to 2006 Mustang. So I think all the way from 2005 to 2009 these guys were basically the same axle, but don't quote me on that, don't really know. So here's the deal, is these guys actually don't have lines ran on the axle. They, from what I've seen, it looks as though they come out the body and run along the what do you call these things, like the trailing arms for the 4-link. It's kind of like a 4-link system, is the easiest way to think about it. And it has a banjo bolt that goes into here. This is I think 1.5 or 10, what is this? I had looked this up. It's not going to tell you, so I'm sorry I forget the sizes. But what I did do for you is I laid out all the part numbers that you'll need. So I got all this stuff and the coil from O'Reilly's, and then I looked this stuff, these nuts up online, and this double flare tool kit from AutoZone, because it's really tough looking up specific like thread pitch kind of stuff. So maybe you got to lay off the guys working behind the counter sometimes. But here's the banjo bolt for the Mustang, and there's a part number. And then this is, now I think there's I saw like 3 of these. Don't ask me why there's 3. I think one's ABS, one's non-ABS. I don't know. I figured I'll just need well, I ordered 2 of them, but they screwed up and gave me 2 of the wrong hose, but that's okay. I can take that back and change it out. I just need it for fit up. So this guy here has the banjo bolt fitting, and then it has what I'm understanding to be called a bubble flare, 10 millimeter by 1 is the thread pitch on that guy. And there's the part number. And then from the chassis, we got this guy. It goes up to the chassis. It's a little bit larger line here. I don't remember the exact thread pitch on it. This guy here is, and it tees down to 2 smaller lines, and it's off the axle. You saw where that bolts onto the axle, and this gives the axle the ability to, you know, do its job, go up and down. And then what it uses is 3/16 called inverted flare. Yeah, inverted flares. So for the Mustang lines, we have 10x1 bubble thread size. So that's the part number here, and this is the part number for this guy. And this stuff all uses this coated steel tubing, and that's the part number. It's just a 25-foot coil, so we don't have to do 25 feet, thank God. But I figure it'll give me a couple of chances to fuck up and get it right. So what we'll do is we'll measure where that fitting is, maybe even try to cut it off there and reuse it, weld it to this guy, and we'll weld it into the same spot on this axle, and then we'll hang our lines for the Mustang. And I think I'll probably make some kind of bracket to mount it. This works out pretty good because the way it goes, it'll sit in here, and when I go to put the leaf in or out, the U-bolts, I can just lift it up out of the way, and then slap it down in place and tighten it down. So that should be kind of a handy little thing. And yeah, I guess we just have to do it now. Half decent. Let's check to see what someone had to say about our website. Usually we'll get these comments. Somebody comment on your post and it'll just be like some hateful soul. Next time, poke a hole in the transmission pan with an awl. Well, yeah, he's got a point there. At least with. This one was less bad. So this is attempt number, I don't. Oh yeah, oh yeah, look at that. What was that, second try? Second try and I'm like a fucking master technician? I'm like the master brake line maker? I know you're like, show me that thing of beauty, Mike. I'm dying to see it. All right, here we go. Come on, focusing. There we go. Yeah, man, look at that, look at that. That's a wiener right there. Oh yeah, it's like a sore dick. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. That is gonna work. So now we have to make bubble flares. And it was just like the same thing, except you use the other side. Oh yeah, that's pretty good right there too. That's pretty good. I think I'm an expert now. So we can go ahead and get to making these lines. Look at that. I only need like a foot of brake line to become a complete expert in this field. So this guy, vacuum's a good way to tell if you got leak free. It's nice to use like a vacuum gauge thingy, but you can always just suck on it. So that guy goes right into there, and yeah, so now all we gotta do is kind of lay this out, get our lines kind of figured out how we're gonna run them, and then make the guys. It'll be kind of cool. But yeah, here's how it looks. I don't know if you guys can see the inside of this guy. It's kind of like a cone shape, and then this guy here just goes. I didn't want to make this like a here's all my helpful hints and advice programs, because I know no one gives a shit. You can't really give anybody any helpful hints or advice because they already know. They're like, dude, everybody knows that. Bro, what are you fucking talking about? Everybody knows that. So the takeaways we learned is cut it with the stupid pipe cutter thingy. Whoosh. Wherever the fuck I put that, it's probably my hand, no. And rim it out real good, make sure it's clean, and then make sure everything's level and square before you start knocking them down. You don't have to go balls to the walls. And then this thing right here, you want it to be as level as possible, because if it's not, then it kind of makes it kind of canted. And that's no good. That's no good. What are we doing now? Lines. Let's go do lines. Easing. Alright. So now we won't have to fuck with nuts. Because I hate fucking with nuts. We'll just smash that bad boy up in there. Bam! Screw this guy down with a blap. Blap! Our line would be nice and secure. Nice and secure, right where we want it. Right where we need it. Pretty happy with that. So let's go ahead and get them welded on where we want them. So I'll need this and these guys. Probably bring that one with, and that way we don't have to come back and get it. Need this thing. Use my wife's helmet. It's not. I like polka dots. I like the polka dots. I like the polka dots anyway. Hello, hello. Alright, so this side is pretty much done. What I ended up doing was just making it a little bit longer, and that way I can put a hook in it, and it'll give me a place I can put this little lockdown tab that was off the old axle, so that kind of do nothing really, but make it look like this bin was on purpose, which it really, I mean, it is, but it's not. You could have got them perfect and made a kind of like a straight shot, but you know, it probably would take a long time to get there. Making it a little bit longer, just put a hook in it, and it gave me a way to adjust where this lands at, so I can get it in that pole there, or the hole there. And this thing's really just balancing itself. So yeah, so time to figure out, whoops, oh damn it, I'm doing this with one hand. So yeah, that's all going to the stock mount here, and we just got to get it over and do the same thing on the other side, which will be a little bit longer, but I tend to think it'll probably be a little bit easier because you just make big bends. Alright, well, there it is. Just waiting on a line since they got the wrong one. They gave me 2 of these, of course, when I ordered 2 of those. So no big deal. They said Tuesday, it's Sunday now, so whatevs. That's already, we've already got the line made on both sides, so literally just have to bolt that in and it's done. And that is it. So we got the T from the factory coming in. It's all standard, going out to the metric bubble flares on either side, and I'm going to retrofit the emergency brakes or parking brake or whatever you want to call it. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be able to make a bracket and adapt those cables from the factory to my cable, which just kind of hangs under the car right there. You can see it kind of dangling right there. And yeah, so as long as I got enough throw on it, I'll be all right. Of course, you can always work a pulley system, but yeah, so it's all nice. There's a little clip that was on the pumpkin, I guess you call this a pumpkin or center section, whatever, on the old one, and I was going to weld the tabs on, but it's riding pretty nice. It's clearing everything and nothing's touching, so I'm pretty happy with it. And I think I'm going to go ahead and hit it with some paint before it rusts any more than it has been. Hey, I hope you enjoyed the axle brake lines conversion from old shitbox Pontiac to fancy 2005 through 9 Mustang rear disc brakes, brake lines, and how to, and all the part numbers there. So if you dig it, go by my website and see if you need anything. I sure would appreciate all kinds of cool turbo stuff and AN lines and fittings and everything you need for your project. Well, not everything, but I'm working on trying to get there. With your guys' support, I think I can. So it's monkeyfabgarage.com, and until next time, this is Mike with Monkey Fab signing out.